The hour of convening having arrived, all members of this House will please report to the floor and take your seats. All members will report to the floor and take your seats. The clerk will ring the bell. All members will report to the floor and take your seats. We're about to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. Well, good morning. Beautiful day outside today, and welcome to Legislative Day 7. We will begin this day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the gentleman from the 79th House District, Representative Mike Walensky. Representative Walensky.
Thank you, Speaker, members of the House. Today I introduce Rabbi Joshua Heller. Rabbi Joshua Heller is in his 18th year as Senior Rabbi of Congregation B'nai Torah in Sandy Springs. Under his tenure, B'nai Torah has grown to be the third largest Jewish congregation in the whole state of Georgia. Rabbi Heller's congregants enjoy his caring, powerful, emotional sermons, and he has an amazing sense of humor, which always makes it very enjoyable. Rabbi Heller is a former president of the Atlanta Rabbinical Association and is a member of the International Committee on Jewish Law and Standards. Rabbi Heller graduated from Harvard with a degree in computer science and passed on job offers from Silicon Valley to become a 9th-generation rabbi. During the period after 9/11, he also served as the rabbi of the Downtown Synagogue in New York, one of the synagogues that's closest to the site of the World Trade Center. He and his wife, Wendy, are proud parents to 3 children, 2 of which born here in Georgia. I'm grateful and honored to call Rabbi Heller not only my rabbi, but a friend who I can always call for advice or help.
Speaker Ralston, honorable members of the House, I want to offer my profound gratitude for the opportunity to be with you today, and in particular to thank Representative Walensky for that gracious introduction. In our Jewish tradition, as we read the book of Exodus, we see it as our story. And we read how the Israelites had been liberated from slavery in Egypt, and they have witnessed 10 horrific plagues. And now they are free and heading towards the promised land, not realizing that Pharaoh is close on their heels. They find themselves caught, if you will, between the devil and the deep Red Sea. There's a miracle. The sea parts, and the Israelites cross through, joining together in a song of freedom. This is a story that I and members of my Jewish community hold dear, and I hope that many of you do as well. I know what it means to have the pharaohs of many generations motivated by implacable hate stalking me, through barren places. And indeed, one only needs to read the news of what happened in Texas just 10 days ago to understand that that is not just an ancient story. And I know that many of us here in Georgia understand the evil that was slavery and what it means for some of our brothers and sisters to be on a continued journey towards freedom. And I would hope that all of us here understand what it means to be pilgrims on a journey to a better, to a promised land. And unfortunately, all of us as Georgians understand what it means to live through a time of plagues. And this is no plague of the firstborn. The angel of death has not stopped with the old, but seizes young as well. And I pray that you join me in prayer and support for our medical professionals, our first responders, our educators, and all the people whose simple, honest work makes it possible for us to live our lives even as they are in harm's way. Because even as we see the light of dawn, some of them have not yet emerged into light. Standing here today, all Georgians know what it means to be caught between the pharaohs of our past, forces that seek to take away cherished rights and freedoms, and a deep sea ahead over which there seems to be no bridge. In this moment of darkness turning to dawn, of a sea about to part, I would like to offer a word of hope to you. Our Jewish tradition, a legend, teaches us that as the Jews stood at the sea, calling to God, praying to God for help, the prayers, the supplications of Aaron the priest accomplished nothing. The staff of Moses, man of God, had no effect, created no path. 12 tribes, each sought their own route through raging waters. It was only when one man, Nachshon ben Aminadav, stepped into the water, not just up to his ankles, not just to get his knees a little damp, not just up to his chest or his neck, not until the waters reached his nose, his very soul. Nachshon had the courage to dive in, and the waters made a dry path for the Israelites to pass through. What courage we must have, my friends. What courage must we have to leave behind pharaohs of our past? What courage must you have to have come here, to have volunteered to service? You leave homes and jobs and families and communities to serve the betterment of our state. What courage we must have to leave behind the pharaohs of our past. We must dive into deep, swirling waters. We must earn the right to celebrate on the other side. When the Israelites finished crossing the sea, they sang a song. And it was a nation that sang a song, not a song of unity, but a song of harmony, of call and response. There is a great song of celebration that we have yet to sing, but only if we cross and sing together. Let us pray. Members of the legislature, I offer thanks for the service that each of you provide. I pray that God grant wisdom to each of you. I will not pray that you agree on all matters, for that would surely be a false prayer. But I do pray that you each come to see your work as holy, that you are guided by your faith, your principles, your integrity, to bring a listening ear, a caring heart, a discerning soul, and a mouth that speaks only truth. I pray that you are able to seek the good of every resident of this state, whether you see them as the least or the greatest. And I pray that you, our leaders, are like our biblical hero, Nachshon, I do not ask that you walk on water, but I ask that you lead us through it by example, and make sure that each of us, that every resident of our state, every citizen, every dweller is guided on a path to freedom and the promised land that God has promised each of us. And let us say, Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you. Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Chair recognizes Chairman Hogan, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal of the previous legislative day and found it to be correct. And furthermore, Mr. Speaker, what is the meaning of life? To be happy and useful. Dalai Lama.
Representative Kelly help you with that one? Okay. Chairman Hogan, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. Burns, on the 59th, moves the following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 980 by Representative Green and the 151st. A bill be entitled Act to amend an act reconstituting the Board of Education of Early County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 981 by Representative Anderson of the 10th and Irwin of the 28th. A bill be entitled Act to authorize the City of Cornelia, Georgia to exercise all redevelopment and other powers under the Constitution.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 982 by Representative Green and the 151st. A bill be entitled Act to amend an act entitled an act to provide education districts for Calhoun County Board of Education.
Intergovernmental
House
coordination.
Bill 983 by Representative Campbell, the 171st. Bill be entitled an act to amend an act providing for the Board of Commissioners in Mitchell County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 984 by Representative Jones, the 53rd, Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Gilligan of the 24th. Bill be entitled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 1 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions regarding holidays.
State planning and community affairs.
House Bill 985 by Representative Williams, the 168th, and Stevens, the 164th. Bill be entitled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Liberty County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 986 by Representative Collins, the 68th, Nixon, the 69th, Smith of the 70th, Smith of the 18th. Bill be entitled an act to amend an act relating to the Board of Education of School Superintendent of the Carroll County School District.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 987 by Representative Buckner of the 137th and Jenkins of the 132nd. Bill be entitled an act to amend an act reconstituting the Meriwether County Board of Education.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 988 by Representative Gullett of the 19th, Moptahana of the 17th, Gravely the 67th, Alexander of the 66th, Kelly the 16th, and others. Bill be entitled an act to provide a homestead exemption from Paulding County ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 989 by Representative Smith, the 18th, and Kelly, the 16th. Bill be titled an act to amend the act to provide for the election of members of the Board of Education of Haralson County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 990 by Representative Williams, the 145th. A bill be titled an act to amend the act creating the Board of Commissioners of Baldwin County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 991 by Representative Bruce, the 61st, Couch, the 50th, Bazemore, the 63rd, Thomas, the 65th, Evans, the 57th, and others. A bill be titled an act to amend the act providing for the number of members and for the election of members of the Board of Education of Fulton County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 992 by Representative Williams, the 145th, Hitchens, the 161st, Gamble of the 15th, Powell of the 32nd, Gunther of the 8th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 7, and Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the imposition rate, computation, exemptions, and credits for state income tax.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 993 by Representative Williams, the 145th, Hitchens, the 161st, Clark, the 147th, Powell, the 32nd, Gunner of the 8th. Bill be titled Act to amend Code Section 161032 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to attempted murder.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 994 by Representative Wilson of the 80th, Cannon of the 58th, Allen of the 40th, Jackson of the 64th, Douglas the 78th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 6 of Article 1 of Chapter 2 of Title 8 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to elevators, dumbwaiters, and escalators.
Regulated Industries.
House Bill 995 by Representative Bodie the 62nd, Lewis Ward of the 109th, Nelson the 125th, Holly of the 111th, Bernal the 77th, and others. A bill to be titled an act to amend Title 34 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to labor and industrial relations.
Industry and Labor.
House Bill 996 by Representative Carpenter the 4th, Scoggins the 14th, Hill of the 3rd, Smith the 18th, Jaspers the 11th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to professions and businesses.
Regulated Industries.
House Bill 997 by Representative Watson the 172nd, England the 116th, Burns the 159th, Buckner the 137th, Hatchett of the 150th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 2, Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to property tax exemptions.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 998 by Representative Carpenter the 4th, Momptown the 17th, Frye the 118th, Collins the 68th, and Gullett of the 19th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 4B of Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to ticket brokers.
Regulated Industries.
House Bill 999 by Representative Cantrell of the 22nd, Clanton the 75th, Moore the 90th, Clark the 147th, Bentley the 139th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to education.
Education.
House Bill 1000 by Representative Gunner of the 8th, Rich the 97th, Scoggins the 14th, Thomas the 21st, Williams the 145th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 19 and Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to control of rabies.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Bill 1001 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Gunner of the 8th, Scoggins the 14th. Bill being titled an act to amend Code Section 33, 35, 2 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to definitions for prepaid legal services.
Judiciary.
House Bill 1002 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Gamble of the 15th, Williams of the 168th, Scoggins the 14th, McDonald the 26th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 3, Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to state symbols.
State Planning and Community Affairs.
House Bill 1003 by Representative Allen of the 40th and Wilson of the 80th. Bill being titled an act to amend Part 6 of Article 17 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to health insurance plans.
Insurance.
House Bill 1004 by Representative Maynard of the 56th, Collins the 68th, Smith of the 133rd, and Duke of the 151st. The bill be titled an act to amend Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to education.
Higher Education.
House Bill 1005 by Representative Maynard of the 56th, Dempsey of the 13th, Campbell of the 131st, Lim of the 99th, Mitchell of the 106th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to student health in elementary and secondary education.
Education.
House Bill 1006 by Representative Dickey, the 140th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act relating to the Board of Education in Crawford County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 1007 by Representative Dickey, the 140th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Crawford County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 1008 by Representative Hawkins, the 27th, Newton to the 123rd, Dempsey the 13th, Hatcher to the 150th, Lot to the 122nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 11 of Chapter 3 of Title 20 and Chapter 9 of Title 30 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to higher education savings plans.
Budget and Fiscal Affairs Oversight.
House Bill 1009 by Representative Jones, the 25th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to motor vehicles and traffic.
Motor Vehicles.
House Bill 1010 by Representative Gaines, the 117th, Wiedauer, the 119th, Fry, the 118th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 45 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to public officers and employees.
State Properties.
House Resolution 620 by Representative Houston of the 170th. A resolution honoring the life of Mr. Charlie D. Rogers and dedicating an intersection in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 621 by Representative Houston of the 170th. A resolution honoring the life of Lieutenant Hugh L. Moore and dedicating a bridge in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 622 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Hatcher to the 150th, Stevens to the 164th, Saints to the 180th, and Ridley the 6th. A resolution recognizing February 8th, 2022 as Dyslexia Day at the State Capitol.
Special Rules.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 856 by Representative Schofield of the 60th, Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Burnell of the 77th, Park of the 101st, and others. A bill relating to general provisions regarding the General Assembly. House Bill 858 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Beverly of the 143rd, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 60th, Dreyer of the 59th. A bill relating to Uniform Civil Forfeiture Procedure Act. House Bill 859 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Beverly of the 143rd, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 60th. A bill relating to Uniform Civil Forfeiture Procedure Act. House Bill 860 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Beverly of the 143rd, Davis of the 87th, and Schofield of the 60th. A bill relating to the Uniform Civil Forfeiture Procedure Act. House Bill 861 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 60th, Davis of the 87th, Hughley of the 136th, Buckner of the 137th, and others. A bill relating to health inmate policies, general provisions regarding social services. House Bill 863 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 60th, Buckner of the 137th, Hughley of the 136th, Davis of the 87th, and others. A bill relating to education. House Bill 864 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Hughley of the 136th, Schofield of the 60th, Buckner of the 137th, Davis of the 87th, and others. A bill relating to public assistance. House Bill 937 by Representative Henderson of the 113th, bill relating to medical assistance. House Bill 938 by Representative Jones of the 53rd, a bill relating to holidays and observances. House Bill 939 by Representative Maynard of the 56th, Cantrell of the 22nd, Paris of the 142nd, Jackson of the 128th, Hagan of the 156th, and others. A bill relating to general provisions relative to the rights and privileges of patients. House Bill 940 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 60th, and Burnell of the 77th, a bill relating to wills. House Bill 941 by Representative McLeod of the 105th, Beverly of the 143rd, Scott of the 76th, McLean of the 100th, Bazemore of the 63rd, and others. A bill to comprehensively revise elections and voting by repealing Act Number 9. House Bill 942 by Representative Wade of the 9th and Ralston of the 7th, a bill to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Dawson County. House Bill 943 by Representative Wade of the 9th and Ralston of the 7th, a bill to amend an act providing an elected Board of Education of Dawson County. House Bill 944 by Representative Holmes of the 129th, a bill to amend an act creating a Board of Commissioners of Jasper County. House Bill 945 by Representative Holmes of the 129th, a bill to amend an act creating a Board of Commissioners of Butts County. House Bill 946 by Representative Holmes of the 129th, a bill to amend an act providing for the election of the members of the Board of Education of Butts County. House Bill 947 by Representative Holmes of the 129th, a bill to amend an act reconstituting the Board of Education of Jasper County. House Bill 948 by Representative Rhodes of the 120th and Leverett of the 33rd, a bill to amend an act providing election of boards of education of Wilkes County. House Bill 949 by Representative Rhodes of the 120th, a bill to amend an act creating Board of Commissioners of Oglethorpe County. House Bill 950 by Representative Rhodes of the 120th, a bill to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Oglethorpe County. House Bill 951 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, a bill to amend an act providing for a Board of Commissioners of Elbert County. House Bill 952 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, a bill to amend an act reconstituting and recreating the Board of Education of Elbert County. House Bill 953 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, a bill to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Lincoln County. House Bill 954 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, a bill to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Lincoln County. House Bill 955 by Representative Williams of the 148th, Hogan of the 179th, Mathis of the 144th, and Gilliard of the 162nd, a bill to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Crisp County. House Bill 956 by Representative Williams of the 148th, Hogan of the 179th, Mathis of the 144th, Gilliard of the 162nd, a bill to reconstitute the Board of Education of Crisp County. House Bill 957 by Representative Parrish of the 158th, a bill to amend an act to reconstitute the Board of Education of Candler County. House Bill 958 by Representative Parrish of the 158th, a bill to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Candler County. House Bill 959 by Representative Smith of the 133rd, Smith of the 134th, Buckner of the 137th, a bill to amend an act relating to the Board of Commissioners of Harris County. House Bill 960 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, Barr of the 103rd, Oliver of the 82nd, Wilson of the 80th, a bill relating to the Governor. House Bill 961 by Representative Abstration of the 104th, Oliver of the 82nd, Williamson of the 115th, Smith of the 18th, Hatchett of the 150th, and others, a bill relating to reduction in apportionment of award or bar of recovery. House Bill 962 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Beverly of the 143rd, Davis of the 87th, Carter of the 92nd, bill relating to general provisions relative to dangerous instrumentalities and practices. House Bill 963 by Representative Parrish of the 158th, Stevens of the 164th, Burchett of the 176th, a bill relating to controlled substances. House Bill 964 by Representative Boehner of the 56th, Cantrell of the 22nd, Lim of the 99th, Wilkerson of the 38th, Sharper of the 177th, a bill relating to local government budgets and audits. House Bill 965 by Representative Boehner of the 56th, Jackson of the 128th, Thomas of the 65th, Jones of the 53rd, Mallow of the 163rd, a bill relating to Fair Business Practices Act. House Bill 966 by Representative Thomas of the 65th, Drenner of the 85th, Evans of the 83rd, Jones of the 53rd, and Buckner of the 137th, a bill relating to electoral service. House Bill 967 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Jackson of the 64th, and Davis of the 87th, a bill relating to fixing of sentence. House Bill 968 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 60th, Sharper of the 177th, McLeod of the 105th, a bill relating to firefighter standards and training. House Bill 969 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Williams of the 148th, Irwin of the 28th, Gaines of the 117th, Gamble of the 15th, a bill relating to insurance holding company systems. House Bill 970 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 60th, Williams of the 168th, a bill relating to veterans benefits. House Bill 971 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Beverly of the 143rd, Schofield of the 60th, Davis of the 87th, McLeod of the 105th, a bill relating to the duties and administrative office of the courts. House Bill 972 by Representative Belton of the 112th, Gamble of the 15th, Powell of the 32nd, Collins of the 68th, Jackson of the 128th, and others, a bill relating to licensing provisions. House Bill 973 by Representative Collins of the 68th, Hitchens of the 161st, Powell of the 32nd, and Lumsden of the 12th, a bill relating to the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. House Bill 974 by Representative Gullett of the 19th, Gunter of the 8th, Scoggins of the 14th, Jones of the 25th, Holcomb of the 81st, and others, a bill relating to recordation and registration of deeds and other instruments. House Bill 975 by Representative Scoggins of the 14th, Werkheiser of the 157th, Chokus of the 138th, Rhodes of the 120th, Green of the 151st, and others, a bill relating to elections and primaries. House Bill 976 by Representative Schofield of the 60th, Jackson of the 128th, Scott of the 76th, Buckner of the 137th, Bentley of the 139th, and others, a bill relating to agriculture. House Bill 977 by Representative Schofield of the 60th, Kirby of the 114th, Hughley of the 136th, Carter of the 92nd, Scott of the 76th, and others, a bill relating to prohibition of age discrimination in employment. House Bill 978 by Representative Smith of the 70th, Stevens of the 164th, England of the 116th, Green of the 151st, and Dempsey of the 13th, a bill relating to county boards of tax assessors. House Bill 979 by Representative Mallow of the 163rd, Holcomb of the 81st, Stevens of the 164th, Evans of the 57th, Lim of the 99th, a bill relating to imposition rate computation exemptions from income taxes. House Resolution 594 by Representative Smith of the 70th, Stevens of the 164th, England of the 116th, Green of the 151st, Dempsey of the 13th, a resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution of the State of Georgia so as to provide that the county and municipal governing authorities shall be authorized to grant temporary tax relief. House Resolution 595 by Representative Evans of the 83rd, Washburn of the 141st, Buckner of the 137th, Thomas of the 21st, Thomas of the 65th, and others. A resolution urging the Georgia Building Authority to plan for sustainable material management and safe drinking water on the Capitol campus properties. Senate Bill 335 by Senator Gooch of the 51st, a bill to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Lumpkin County. Senate Bill 336 by Representative Walker of the 20th, a bill to amend an act revising and restating the law relating to the Bleckley County Board of Education. 3 second readers.
Reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Representative Don Parsons, the 44th District Chairman on Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications set out of consideration the following bills of the House and instructed me to report the same back to the House. The following recommendations. House Bill 159 do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Don Parsons of the 44th District, Chairman. Representative Sharon Cooper of the 43rd District, Chairman of the Committee on Health and Human Services, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Health and Human Services has had under consideration the following bills to the House. Instructed me to report the same back to the House. The following recommendation. House Bill 752 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Sharon Cooper of the 43rd District, Chairman. Representative Jan Tankers of the 160th District, Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals had under consideration the following bills of the House and has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 889 do pass by substitute. House Bill 909 do pass. House Bill 921 do pass. House Bill 922 do pass. House Bill 935 do pass. House Bill 936 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Jan Tankers for the 160th District, Chairman. Representative Administration of the 104th District, Chairman of the Committee on Judiciary, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary has had under consideration the following bills of the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 56 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 624 do pass by committee substitute. House Bill 961 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Administration of the 104th District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
All right, we're going on now to the local calendar. Going on to the local calendar, third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there is no objection, we have a procedure here that says turn your light on. Do you have a button? What is your objection?
I object to the calendar, the local calendar, the way it is structured.
Yeah, Representative, I need for you to clarify. I'm not sure I understand your objection. Are you objecting to the local bill for Hall County or Troup County or Douglas County or Catoosa County?
Mr. Speaker, I'm objecting to all the local bills the way they are, that they're constructed.
The way they're structured.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
The only objection that you would be recognized for is if you wish to pull off a local bill and have it voted on separately. There is no objection to the structure of a bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I didn't realize that. I just thought that maybe since when that bill was pulled off and no one had anything to say about local legislation, I didn't know it was any structure that you had to have.
So, yeah, that bill was not even on the calendar, Representative. It was in committee.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, do you still have a motion, or you want to withdraw that motion at this time?
Mr. Speaker, I'm contemplating that. I do withdraw my.
You want me to call too much time on you here?
No, just contemplating it. But I do withdraw my objection.
All right. Gentleman has withdrawn his objection. If there's no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. The clerk will read the local calendar.
House Bill 889 by substitute by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Hall County. House Bill 909 by Representative Nix of the 69th, Troup County. House Bill 921 by Representative Alexander of the 66th, Douglas County. House Bill 922 by Representative Alexander of the 66th, Douglas County. House Bill 935 by Representative Hill of the 3rd, Catoosa County. House Bill 936 by Representative Hill of the 3rd, Catoosa County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine. On the bills on the local calendar, the ayes are 156, the nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. For what purpose does Chairman Tankersley rise?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a motion.
State your motion.
I make a motion that we that we immediately transmit the local calendar to the Senate.
The chairman of the Intergovernmental Coordination Committee has moved that the bills on the local calendar that were passed today be immediately transmitted to the Senate. Is there objection? There is objection. Does the lady move? Does the lady move? The lady moves. All those in favor, listen up now. If you're in favor of the motion to immediately transmit, you will vote aye. If you're opposed, you will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the lady's motion. The ayes are 112, the nays are 44, and the local bills have been immediately transmitted to the Senate. What purpose does Representative Park rise?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a motion.
State your motion.
I make a motion to move House Bills 872 and House Bills 873 from governmental affairs to intergovernmental coordination. The author of the bill and all the signers agree. The chairpersons for both committees do not agree.
The chairpersons for neither committee agree to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. Speaker.
All right, the gentleman's motion is that notwithstanding the objection of both of the chairmen, that House Bills 872 and 873 would be moved from governmental affairs to intergovernmental coordination. All those in favor of the motion will vote aye. Those opposed to his motion will vote no. And the clerk will unlock the machines. What purpose does Chairman Darlene Taylor rise?
I object to the motion.
I think he stated that you did. But we'll give Representative Park some credit there, okay? Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the ayes are 65, the nays are 90, and the gentleman's motion has failed. Okay, that's going to be all we do on the local calendar today.
We're moving on to morning orders. Morning orders, if you have a morning order, please come to the front. Morning orders will be limited to 1 minute per member. The chair recognizes Representative Chairman Cantrell for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Wow, loud. Hey, colleagues, it's way past time for Georgia to take a fresh look at how we educate our children. Even when public schools do an excellent job, there's always going to be a small percentage of students who do not perform well in a traditional classroom setting. This means we must focus on funding students, not systems, because one size does not fit all, especially when it comes to education. Should a low-income family be stuck in a chronically underperforming school? Should a student who's being bullied be forced to stay in a school where they can't learn? The answer is no. Yesterday, I introduced House Bill 999. This is school choice for all. School choice for all. Georgians want school choice. All the polling shows it. And in fact, 77% of parents who send their kids to public school favor school choice. This is a bipartisan bill. It's sponsored by 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats so far. So I urge you to support school choice in Georgia this year. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Setzler and the Cobb delegation for a morning order.
Behind you, Mom.
Okay. Do I need to move more?
We've got a photo.
Sure. Happy to be behind you. Huh? Happy to be behind you. Oh, we don't want you. Go away. Come on, Jenny. I'm teasing, of course. Good job last night. Oh, thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I'd like to ask you to rise if you would, please. We lost a friend of Cobb County yesterday. Colonel Michael H. Boyce, U.S. Marine Corps retired, the 4-year chairman of the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, passed away yesterday. He had served as the chair of Cobb County from being elected in 2016, served for 4 years, and left office in early 2021. Chairman Boyce was born in California, 1949, graduated the University of Notre Dame in 1971, where on the tail end of the Vietnam War, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. He served our country for 30 years, left active duty in 2001, and again, as a citizen, ran for office and was elected county chair in 2016. His wife, Judy, 3 kids, 5 grandkids, carry on Mike's heart and his tradition. He passed away yesterday after having suffered a first of many strokes about a week ago. Was actually up in South Bend, Indiana. Had been in a residential fellowship at Notre Dame University as a leadership mentor in a graduate program there with his wife. Had a year there, was really having the time of his life mentoring young people. What I want to just say about Chairman Boyce briefly is just the joyful spirit that he represented. You know, as many of our military members are, they are able to be joyful even in hard times. And Mike, I think those that know him recognize that in the face of the harshest criticism, he was always just such a friendly gentleman. You know, Mike was a person in representing Cobb County that served people, looked after and cared for people, even that would never vote for him, that didn't share his political philosophy, but just he was just that kind of gentleman. That servant's heart just came through. Last thing I know, Madam Chair, we're running out of time. I will tell you though, just to give you a picture of the man, when he was running for office in 2016, he had a mission trip scheduled to Romania. He was going to go for 2 weeks. He got through the primary, was in a primary runoff, and in that 6-8 week period between his primary and his primary runoff, we had a 2-week mission trip scheduled. He did the mission trip. He didn't cancel the mission trip because he had a political contest ahead of him. He focused on what was important in life. And I just want to celebrate him today. And as we think about this young man that served, he was, at 72 years young, left us too soon. But we're proud of the time we had with him. We'd like to thank him and his family for the life he lived. And I'd like to let's all recognize him in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Chokas for a morning order.
Cool. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, everyone. On your desk, we've placed a book by Barry McCarthy. This is the book. It's titled Small Business Revolution, How Owners and Entrepreneurs Can Succeed. Mr. McCarthy is the CEO of Deluxe Corporation. Many of you know the Deluxe Corporation because it actually prints the checks that they use in our checking accounts. Most of you don't know that approximately 70% of their business deals with payment processing, and that Georgia accounts for over 80% of the payment processing business in the United States. Deluxe recently opened a facility in Georgia and created over 700 jobs. Mr. McCarthy's book is listed as the #2 bestseller on the Wall Street Journal list of books. His company supports over 4 million small businesses annually. Mr. McCarthy was a presenter at yesterday's Small Business Development Committee meeting, and thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Schofield for a morning order.
Good morning, Madam Chair and colleagues. Today is Mental Health Day at the Capitol. Close to 40,000 children and over 30,000 adults are impacted by or living with some form of mental health disorder. They are our family members, constituents, colleagues, and some of us in this chamber are battling mental health issues. When one suffers, we all suffer. Mental health affects every aspect of our lives. If you need help, dial 988. Although mental health has always been a pressing issue in certain communities, I am very glad to know that this body has decided to make mental health a priority, getting people and organizations the help that they need. To the mental health advocates, thank you for being here today.
Chair recognizes Representative Kennard for a morning order.
As mentioned, it is Mental Health Day at the Capitol, and it takes on more meaning this year because we are having such momentum towards some meaningful legislation this year. I want to thank the Speaker and Chairman Oliver and Chairman Jones for working across the aisle to do something for Georgia in this regard. Because it's Mental Health Day, it's also Criminal Justice Reform Day, because the largest mental health service provider in our state as it sits is our Georgia State prisons and our county jails. We've effectively criminalized mental health, but when we support it on the front end, we decriminalize it on the back end. Because it's Mental Health Day, it's also Substance Abuse Disorder Day. These two things are almost connected always, addiction and substance abuse and mental health. The overwhelming reason why people abuse drugs and alcohol is because there's an underlying mental health diagnosis that's going untreated. So there's all kinds of wins going on today because it's Mental Health Day, and I just thank you for being a part of that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
988, the new suicide number, 988.
Chair recognizes Representative Nix for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Freshman legislators, please listen up. We're going to have a mandatory ethics training meeting this afternoon tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, room 216 in the Capitol. If you were elected in 2020 or sometime later, you need to come to this meeting. We will have members of the Georgia Government Transparency and Campaign Finance Commission there to both give you a briefing and answer questions. We'll have members of Legislative Council there to brief you and answer questions. So it's very important, if you're a freshman legislator, that you attend. Again, it's tomorrow, January the 27th at 1 o'clock in room 216 in the Capitol. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Chair recognizes Representative Smith for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Would all members of the 3rd Congressional District please stand? 3rd Congressional District. We've suffered a great loss. I want to tell you, life is fragile right now. February of last year, Russ Carricker was sworn in as DOT board member for District 3. He passed yesterday. The day he was sworn in, the very next day, he was diagnosed with stomach cancer. Kirby Smart made a comment one time, and I really like it. He says, "You're either elite or you're not." Russ was elite. He played at Auburn, football linebacker, played there at the same time as Bo Jackson did. But if you knew Russ, you knew that his whole life was revolving around his faith in God, his family, this country, and everything that he could do to make this community better. He was one of these young men that, he was only 57, he was one of these young men that some of us older ones were hoping to give the mantle to take care of the leadership in Columbus. He was one that could probably be elected mayor or just about anything he wanted to do. So his wife Patty and his daughter Avery, please keep them in your prayers and just give a moment of silence for Russ. Thank you. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Cooper for a morning order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On your desk, you have a flyer, and I would like to make you aware of the Georgia Radio Reading Service. I hope that not only will you become aware of this service, but you will put it out for your constituents. We know of over 200,000 Georgians who have trouble seeing if they can see at all. We are an aging state, And as you age, more and more people lose their ability to see. And these services help keep a sightless person in contact with their community by having their local paper read to them or being able to have magazines or books also read. Please take it and make this service available to your constituents. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
That concludes morning orders. The clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions.
Honoring the life and memory of Jeffrey Allen Parker. Honoring the life and memory of Robert E. Bob Tribble. Honoring the life and memory of Dennis Howard Strickland. Recognizing and commending Dr. Thomas Everard Kalk upon the grand occasion of his retirement. Recognizing and commending Ansley Cruz Lyons. Recognizing and commending the City of Dunwoody for earning the City of Freedom Seal from the Safe House Project. Recognizing January 19th, 2022 as Apostolic World Christian Fellowship Leadership Summit 2022 Day. Recognizing and commending the City of Dorville on the occasion of its 150th anniversary. Recognizing and commending the Reach Georgia Scholarship Program upon the occasion of its 10th anniversary. Recognizing and commending Family and Consumer Sciences. Recognizing May 2022 as Bone Health and Osteoporosis Awareness Month in the state of Georgia. Recognizing and commending Claudette Forbes. Recognizing February 18th, 2022 as National Caregiver Day. Recognizing and commending Melvin Bagley on the outstanding public service as the first election supervisor for Bartow County. Recognizing and commending Chief Dan Flynn. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? The chair hears none and the resolutions are adopted. There are some announcements. If you have an announcement, please come to the front and I'll call on you. The chair recognizes Representative Carter for a morning, for an announcement. The chair will come back if you'll come on down to the front. The chair recognizes Representative Allen for an announcement.
Thank you. The Cobb County delegation will meet in room 515 upon adjournment. Lunch will be served. 515, CLOB.
Chair recognizes Representative Carter for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. Good morning, everyone. Every year I come and ask you to join me in advocating for women in heart disease. So on Thursday, February the 3rd, we're asking everyone to wear red in our unity to bring awareness. And Friday, the first Friday in February, is always the annual Go Red for Women, and we'll host an event in the district. And one of the things is we've continued to stress is that heart disease is the #1 cause in death with women, and we want to do everything that we can to help women live. And for those of you that haven't seen me in a while and maybe like, who is that? I'm 50 pounds down. So yes, my heart is feeling good. Thank you, ma'am.
Chair recognizes Representative Tankersley for an announcement.
Thank you. Please listen up. We're all concerned about local legislation. I've been notified that many local redistricting maps have been forwarded to Legislative Council. I urge each of you to check your folders in Legislative Council to see if you've got things in there that are ready for you to move on. So some of those maps that have been forwarded over here already have the bill drafted. That's a good thing. Others, the maps are there, but the local legislation has not been drafted. So you want to be sure to check your folders in Legislative Council. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Green for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The State Properties Committee will meet today in room 403 at 3:30. Again, State Properties, room 403 at 3:30. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Watson for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Two quick announcements. Rural Caucus will kick off today at 12 o'clock in the Department of Agriculture 201. So we'll be back over there this year. So look forward to seeing everybody there for Rural Caucus. And then also the Appropriations Subcommittee of General Government will meet at 1 o'clock today in 415, and there will not be a Zoom option for that. So hope to see everybody there in person. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Gallup for an announcement.
Thank you. Just a quick announcement for Governmental Affairs Standing Committee. We'll meet today at 2 o'clock, room 406 in the CLOB. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative McLeod for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. I just wanted to let everybody know there's a new number for the suicidal prevention hotline. It's 988. The suicidal prevention hotline is 988. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Evans for an announcement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The DeKalb delegation will meet today at noon via Zoom. You can pick up your lunch in room 216 right after adjournment. Thank you.
The House Majority Leader is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Thursday, January the 27th, 2022.
On the motion of the Majority Leader that the House stands adjourned until 10 a.m. Thursday, January 27th, all those in favor will say aye. All those opposed will say no. The ayes clearly have it, and the House stands adjourned.